Hi everyone, I'm B.S.Kanagavalli, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Theivanai Ammal College for Women, Autonomous, Villupuram. Introduction to Financial Management. So today we are going to see an important topic about financial management. So very first thing is that financial planning. Every organization should have a financial plan for themselves. So first, financial planning is nothing but a process of ascertaining an organization's financial needs. Every organization should know their financial needs, which is very essential for the organization, and it is their requirement for knowing about the sources and the proportion of the funds which is essential for the business. And what is financial plan? Financial plan is a statement estimating the amount of capital and determining its composition. So every organization should know how much amount of capital is needed for their business. So that is what they are going to plan in their financial plan. And next one is characteristics or principles of sound financial plan. So a financial manager is a main source for knowing about the financial decisions of the company. He should know how much finance is needed for the organization. He is the person who is going to take note of the investment decisions, how much shares or how much debentures the company is going to issue to the members. Everything have to take a note of that. And first characteristic is that is about the simplicity. So when you are going to make a financial plan, very first thing it should be simple. There should be no complications or any confusions while you're planning for the company, and a clear cut objective should be mentioned for what reason you're making the financial plan. So it should be simple in nature, and the profitability of the business should be improved for that purpose. And next is less dependence on outside sources. So every organization should make note that capital should be invested from outsiders, but in the long run of the business they should take note of that outside sources should have less dependence in their company, because when you are having some profits in your company, you should be able to plowing back of that is you have to reinvest your profits in the business. For how long you will be getting sources from others, you should have your own profit. So with that sources you have to reinvest in your business. So that is what they are telling, that less dependence on outside sources. And next is flexibility. In a financial planning, it should always be in a flexible manner. When I'm making a plan, I should be able to change the plan accordingly when there is any economic crisis or due to some political influences. I should be able to change back my financial planning, so that it should be in a flexible manner. Next, optimum use. If I'm making a financial plan, I should make use of that in an entirely how my business should run. So if I'm making a plan, you should use that in a full manner, not starting it in the beginning and not using it properly at the end. So you should make full use of it. And next is foresight. Every organization will look for the future perspectives. So according to this, if you see, you should have a vision in a futuristic manner. So if I'm making a plan, it should be in a futuristic manner, how well it will be useful for my company. So that is what they are telling in this. And next is cost. Obviously, when I'm making a plan, the cost for raising funds should not be higher than the amount I'm getting from them. So it should be cost efficient, and you should not use any other way of getting amount from them which is not eligible for the company's investment. Okay. And next is liquidity. For example, if I'm making a business plan or a financial plan, it should be always in a liquidity manner. Why? Because is that when I'm needing of amount, it should be in a different way. When I'm getting some amount from others, it should be given to them properly. Likewise, when I'm making a financial plan, I should be able to have some liquid amount for me. So the principle of liquidity means which the ability to produce cash on demand. I should be able to get the cash again. And next one is profitability. So obviously every business is running for profitable view. So now if you are able to see, the principle of profitability means the ability to enhance the profit earning capacity. Every business or organization or any company, the main motive is to earn profit. So the securities or liabilities, whichever it should be adjusted properly, then only they will be able to get their profits, and it should be in a very reasonable manner. And next is steps in financial planning. This is a very important topic. When I'm going to make a financial planning, the following steps should be involved in those things, and establishing financial objectives. First one is financial objectives of a company should be clearly determined. If I'm going to make a financial objective, it should be clearly determined. Both the short term and long term objectives should be carefully prepared. Why? Because is that short term objectives and long term objectives should be there, so that the business will run in an efficient manner. Without objective, no business can run in an efficient manner. And the main purpose of financial planning is that the financial resources should be utilized in the best manner. We are getting amount from someone and we are not using it properly, then the business will get loss in their every way possible. So it should be mentioned properly. So there should be an optimum utilization of funds. If I'm getting some funds from someone, it will be utilized properly, and the company should take advantage of prevailing economic conditions. Whatever the economic conditions are there, they should use it properly. And next is formulating financial policies. So every organization will have their own financial policies. So according to that, we have to make our plans and raise funds according to that. So here we are seeing that financial policies are guide to all actions which deal with procuring, administering and distribution of business funds in a best possible way. Next is there should be clear-cut plans for raising required funds and their possible uses. So here what they are telling is that you should raise your funds in a possible manner, that is through giving bonds or through debentures. You have to raise your funds properly, and the current and the future needs for funds should be considered while formulating financial policies. So what are all the current needs for the company, what are all the future needs for the company should be clearly mentioned in the financial policies. And next is formulating procedures. The procedures are formed to ensure your consistency of actions. So every organization should have a proper procedure or a plan to make things in a possible manner. So here it ensures your consistency of actions, how consistently you are doing your business. This formulation of procedures will make use of that. The procedures follow the formulation of policies. If a policy is to raise short-term fund from banks, and then a procedure should be laid to approach the lenders and the persons authorized to initiate such actions. Here they have given some example that if you are going to raise a short-term fund from any of the banks, the procedure should be set properly and approach to the lenders and the persons authorized to initiate such actions. So whoever is responsible for those things, they should be clearly mentioned in that, and you have to make proper procedures to how get amount from them. Okay, and next is providing for flexibility. The financial planning should ensure proper flexibility in objectives, policies and procedures so as to adjust according to the changing economic conditions. So according to the economic conditions, as I said, it should be in a flexible manner, and economic environment will be changing according to the political policies, or financial planning may change according to the budgeting decisions of the country. So it should be always in a flexible manner. And next is factors influencing a sound financial plan. So what are all the factors that is influencing a sound financial plan for an industry or for a company or for any organization? Is first is the nature of the industry. The need of funds are different from various industries. That is, first one is public utilities require more fixed capital and working capital when compared to a trading concern. A trading concern requires more working capital than fixed capital. So if you see, for public utilities, it requires more of a fixed capital, and when working capital is compared to a trading concern requires more of working capital than a fixed capital. Okay, so according to the nature of the industries, the capital requirements are changing. And next is the size of the business. Bigger businesses need obviously more capital, and it should have a better financial control. So the benefits are more from detailed financial planning. Smaller businesses need lesser capital. Some of them manage to survive even without the financial planning. Some small businesses no need to have any financial planning. Even with the minimum financial planning, they can survive in a better manner. But if you go for big businesses, they should have a better financial planning and they should have a financial control over their businesses. And next is status of the company. Obviously, financial needs of a newly started company differ from those of a long-standing ones. If I'm going to start a company, its financial needs will obviously differ from those which is running for a longer period of time. And goodwill of the concern, credit rating in the market, past performance, attitude of the management are some of the factors which should be considered in formulating a financial plan. So if a newly starting company, they will not have a kind of goodwill, but for an established company, they will have their own goodwill, they will have a credit rating in the market, their past performance will be established in a proper manner, and the attitude of the management will be known properly to everyone. So all these things should be considered while we are formulating a financial plan. And a company's reputation is linked to its financial position, which can be controlled through efficient financial planning. Obviously, a company's reputation is always linked with the financial position of the company. Next is general economic conditions. The prevailing economic conditions at the national level as well as in the international level will influence decisions about a financial plan. If I'm going to make a financial plan, I should see after the economic conditions of the company, both in the national level as well as in the international level. When we are there in a favorable economic environment, it will be easy for us to raise the funds without any difficulty. But if you are having any uncertain economic conditions, it will really make us difficult to get it will make us difficult to raise the funds. Okay, so for a good company also it will be difficult when the economic conditions are not proper. And next is the government control. So government policy should also be helpful in raising our funds while issuing shares or debentures or payment of dividend and interest rate entered into foreign collaboration, etc., will influence the financial plan. So in all these things, if you see, the government policies will have their control. So the legislative restrictions on using certain sources, limiting dividend and interest rates will make it difficult to raise funds. Obviously, the legislative restrictions will make it difficult because the government will always have control over the shares, debentures and dividend and interest rates. So these conditions will affect the financial planning of the company, and while raising funds also it will be very difficult. So government control should be properly considered while selecting a financial plan. Obviously you have to look after this while you're raising your funds. And these are the important factors which we have seen here. And thank you. This is about the financial planning.